Hey guys, Ross here, and today I'm beyond excited to announce the launch of my first instructional guitar book, Beyond Pentatonic Blues Guitar, published by Guitar Vivo and available for purchase worldwide on Amazon. Now, unfortunately, because I'm filming this weeks before the actual launch date, I don't yet have a physical copy of it myself, so I'm excited to get my hands on that soon. But I want to tell you a bit about how this came about, the features of the book, and what I think sets it apart from a lot of other instructional blues guitar resources on the market currently. I've been sporadically teaching blues improvisation lessons on my YouTube channel for the past couple of years, and for the longest time, I'd been meaning to create my own all-in-one guide to blues improvisation for the guitarist who feels stuck in the all-too-common minor pentatonic rut. And so when Guitar Vivo approached me last summer and said, "Would you like to publish your own blues improvisation book?" I said, "Yeah, sign me up. Now is the time to finally do this." So, who is this book for? The type of player I had in mind when creating the content was one who has perhaps been playing guitar for several years or even decades and loves blues guitar, but has felt stuck in a rut where they feel as though they aren't able to freely improvise through the chord changes of a 12-bar blues. This is exactly the type of player that I was when I was a teenager. I had been playing for a few years before I was introduced to blues music, and as soon as I became obsessed with learning as much as I could about playing the genre. I bought books, I bought DVDs, I watched free lessons on YouTube, I watched live performances of my blues guitar heroes like Stevie Ray, Robin Ford, Joe Bonamassa, and in the years that followed, I did get better at the guitar overall. I had decent technical ability and could play some flashy licks, but my skills as a blues improviser quickly hit a ceiling that I just couldn't seem to move past. I didn't know the fretboard well enough, and I didn't have any real understanding of the language of music. And this resulted in me lacking a real understanding of the chord changes in a 12-bar blues. So, what would often happen on gigs when I went to improvise a 12-bar solo was I would play some memorized minor pentatonic licks that sounded good over the one chord, but when the 4 and 5 chords appeared in the progression, all of a sudden my minor pentatonic approach didn't work so well. I would hit sour notes, get lost on the fretboard, and often end up sounding like I'd accidentally gone out of key. So I'd breathe a sigh of relief every time I returned to the one chord because of all 3 chords in the 12-bar blues progression, the 1, the 4, and the 5, the one chord was the only one I felt somewhat comfortable playing over. I knew this was a problem, but I had no idea what questions to even ask in order to break out of this minor pentatonic blues improvisation rut. And so as a result, my blues playing didn't improve much at all in the years that followed. To cut a long story short, after studying guitar academically and gaining a much deeper understanding of the fretboard and of the language of music in the process, as well as spending a couple of years transcribing solos from my blues guitar heroes like Matt Schofield, Josh Smith, Robin Ford, Joe Bonamassa, I was able to finally break out of that rut and reach a skill level where I could confidently and consistently improvise solos that flowed through the chord changes with ease. Beyond Pentatonic Blues Guitar is the book I wish had existed back in my teenage years when I was stuck in this minor pentatonic blues improv rut. I said before that although I was aware of being in a rut, I didn't know what questions to ask in order to break out of it. This book contains the answers to those questions. It is the result of 7 months of work that I spent reverse engineering the process of growth that I put myself through as a blues improviser. My starting point was one where I knew the positions of the minor pentatonic, a few memorized licks, and not much else. And my end point was becoming a player who knew how to effectively highlight the chord changes of a 12-bar blues with confidence through using soloing approaches that include the minor pentatonic and other scales, but also go way beyond scales entirely. So in the chapters, you'll learn about improvising through all 12 bars of a standard blues chord progression. You'll understand what note choices you can make over the one chord, how to move from the 1 to the 4 chord, what to play once you're on the 4 chord, and how to get back to the 1 chord. The final 4 bars of the 12-bar blues progression, known as the turnaround, are perhaps the most challenging part to play over, and so the chapter on navigating the turnaround will guide you through the process of improvising over it and get you to a level where you no longer fear the turnaround and simply look forward to returning to that 1 chord, but instead embrace that turnaround with confidence and enthusiasm every time. Throughout all chapters of the book, I've weaved in 126 vocabulary examples that include things like licks, exercises, practice etudes, and solo studies. All of these examples have accompanying audio and video files so you can listen to and watch me play through all of them. For example, here's one of the licks from the chapter on nailing the 1 to 4 chord change. And here's one of the practice etudes that takes you through an entire 12-bar progression. There are 6 of these in the book in total. The vocabulary examples come with accompanying tab and notation, but beyond that, many of them come with my own detailed analysis that explains to you how the note choices relate to the chords, as well as how I am visualizing the fretboard at each moment with the aid of hundreds of fretboard diagrams. All of the examples are played over the same shuffle backing track in the key of A. However, I've provided you with 72 versions of this same backing track, meaning there are versions in all 12 keys at 3 different tempos and with 2 different band arrangements, one with just bass and drums so you can slot in as the guitar player in a traditional blues trio, and another band arrangement that has bass, drums and keys. So needless to say, I am immensely proud of the end result, and I sincerely hope that you can use it to finally smash your way out of the blues improvisation plateau that you may have been in for years or even decades. I truly believe that we have created something that goes against the grain of the cookie cutter approach that so many other instructional blues guitar resources on the market have taken. This is not just a glorified scale and arpeggio diagram book, and there's no stock chapter on the BB King box that you've heard about 1,000 times before. This is something that addresses the root cause of why so many blues guitarists fail to highlight the changes in their soloing, and it seeks to completely change your approach to blues soloing for the better once and for all. The book is available on Amazon now at an extremely affordable price, but if you're still on the fence, I've just recently put together a blues improvisation masterclass that's an hour long, and you can watch it for free via the link in the description box. It takes you through a full 12-bar solo and shows you a number of the concepts from the book that will have you highlighting the chord changes in a tasteful way. So it's the perfect way to find out if this book is something that you yourself can truly benefit from. I can't wait to hear what you all think of the book. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.